With his incredible power and aggressive fighting style, Tyson earned the title of the most feared man on the planet during the 90s. His record was terrifying, and his reputation as a knockout artist was unmatched. Almost all his fights ended with his opponents on the canvas, but there were a few who, after enduring a brutal beating, not only lasted all 12 rounds against the young beast, but somehow managed to leave the ring on their own 2 feet. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Titans who stood their ground against Iron Mike from the first to the last. So, get comfortable and watch until the end. Tyson's fights are never boring, so let's dive in. Kicking off our list is Tyson's bout against James Tillis. It was 1986, and 19-year-old Mike Tyson was stepping into the ring for his 20th professional fight. He had won all 19 of his previous matches by knockout. Some doubters thought Tyson couldn't go the distance, that 12 rounds were his Achilles heel. They called him a street brawler, a knockout artist, but not a true boxer. How wrong they were. Mike not only went the distance, but showed off his defensive skills.
He wears no robe. He wears no socks with his boxing shoes. He says that makes him feel more like a warrior, more like a gladiator.
On May 3rd, Iron Mike faced 28-year-old James Tillis, 31-8, with 24 knockouts. Tillis had lost his last 3 fights by decision, but had given his opponents plenty of trouble. Despite this, the experts were confident that he would be knocked out by Tyson. The twist? Tillis had fought most of his career while struggling with allergies, which caused him to tire prematurely in the middle rounds. It's widely believed this was why he lost his only title shot back in 1981. However, just before facing Tyson, Tillis had finally gotten healthy and stepped into the ring in the best shape of his career.
A draw. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. No standing 8 count. The mandatory 8 count is in effect. Tyson does not feel his opponents out in round 1.
Despite the doubts surrounding him, Tillis showed incredible resilience, taking several hard shots in the early rounds.
With that first punch, he threw the way of it. Mike missed the corners and on the ropes like he did. Amazing to see such a young fighter understand so well the importance of a veteran to understand that by punching to the body, you can take all that movement away from James. Break the fighters because Tyson's hands were not tied up. Again, the right uppercut just missed that time by Tillis.
Late in round, took a right hand. We'll be back. Hear the bell, as you saw before we went away. Lost the sounded to end round 1. His last fight.
And he got the punch, even though it was, as you say, extended.
Around the face, and there's a right hand. As Tyson's
distance, he's trying to learn how to box.
We'd like to alert our local stations along the line that we'll be taking.
This is an important learning experience for Mike Tyson. He's going to have to be able to handle a quick Tillis to get to the top of the even. He is right now. Tillis is making
against the ropes and then releases the hand.
Instead, he got into a little
close, and Mike Tyson warms to the task once again as the round in the way of the uppercut and that one left hook which scored. Tyson now appears to be a little less shy about stepping up.
The fight's climax seemed to be looming in the 4th round when Tillis took a hook from Tyson, lost his balance, and hit the canvas.
The corner and was distracted before he got punched. Again, he lunges in against the
left hand.
Left hook. He lunges in with the left hook. Tyson very cleverly slips it, comes back in a punching position and lands a left hook.
But he got up and made it to the end of the round.
Foot wasn't stepped on, causing that knock. I don't think that was a punch, the knockdown punch, but he isn't using them.
He does not look hurt, as Alex pointed out. Looks rather fresh.
Tillis tried to fight back, throwing a lot of jabs that mostly bounced off Tyson's defense.
Tyson waiting if the quick Tillis was hurt by those 2 body punches.
And the right hand got through the guard.
He was exhausted at the end of his 8-round fight with combinations. This is a round in which a knockdown, a 10-8 round.
Perhaps the only time in the bout when we've seen it. But again, he comes on at the end of the round.
Waiting for Tillis to make the fight, to come to him.
Very Bentley.
And I think he also trained harder for this fight. He realizes this fight means everything to him.
Goldberg and crew in Los Angeles, where they called him Dark King.
For full power.
Now he's at the right range. Tillis grabs him behind the head. Tillis landed a left, didn't seem to faze Tyson at all.
For the first time, Mike went the distance, showcasing his defensive prowess.
He has not gotten exhausted. Well, he is going to respond to that.
His hands are free and he has a chance to punch. Landed to see a knockout. Tyson tries to deliver with the right hand.
James became the first fighter to last all the way against Tyson.
15 fights, and he does appear at this point to be going all out to satisfy them.
Next to this. Closing with a flurry. The bell is going to sound.
Mike looked sharp in this fight, but he couldn't knock his opponent out, ultimately winning by unanimous decision. This was a beacon of hope for the rest of the heavyweight division.
How disappointed are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved, and I'm confident if I wanted to, I could have knocked them out.
Though his knockout streak was broken, the most spectacular moments were still to come. Just 4 days after the fight with Tillis, it was announced that Tyson would face Mitch "Blood" Green, who was ranked one spot ahead of Tyson in the WBC heavyweight rankings, on May 20th at Madison Square Garden. A fighter and gang leader, Green was actually one of Tyson's main adversaries in the ring during his rise to the top of the sport. Green quickly made a name for himself in the heavyweight division, winning his first 16 fights in a row, including a victory over the tough Floyd Jumbo Cummings in 1983. Despite his early success, Green suffered his first loss in 1985 when he lost a 12-round decision to Trevor Berbick in a bid for the USBA title. Green bounced back from that defeat with wins over Purcell Davis and Young Lewis before facing Mike Tyson.
I want to be some Michelle Cicely Tyson. He's a homo. Oh, baby. So I said, we're going to simulation. Dog, he ugly. Tyson ugly. He a homo. We're going to live some national. Michelle Cicely Tyson is a homo. Baby.
Green used TV and video messages to taunt Tyson into taking the fight, and it worked. The fight took place in May 1986 at the iconic Madison Square Garden. This bout came just 17 days after Tyson's match with Tillis. However, the fight with Green was quite different from the one with Tillis. While Tillis tried to win, Green was merely trying to survive in the ring.
Between Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks. Round one. He comes out like a locomotive, going straight for a boxer should do to him. That he didn't double up. He just was a little bit lazy. I had that same experience when I fought my first 10-round fight. What is your adrenaline? It's that anticipation. That's the motto with his career, period. Always aggressive, right in front of his man. Now we see some hand moves. Looks like Green is off balance when he throws his punches. Well, the Green makes is the fact that he... Well, let him go, say! Shots to the body. He can't allow maneuverability.
The fight went as many had predicted. Tyson stayed low and exploded upward with his vicious attacks, which the taller Green, lacking defensive discipline, struggled to handle.
Holding and hit. Draw a warning from Luis Rivera, the referee, about holding the body shots. Watch for the left hook. Right now he needs some of them. When his mouthpiece was knocked out his mouth, he kept his mouth open. Tyson had against Tillis, and what a shot. Well, the problem he's making, he cannot... between rounds, as we mentioned, he can't help it. He's breathing through less than 6 inches. Breathing through his mouth. Hands high. He works his way in. You have to think, Ray, that maybe the Tillis fight woke him up.
Green attempted to inflict damage on Tyson and frequently clinched him, trying to neutralize the power in Tyson's punches.
Good left hook, solid left hook. Good job. The left hook of Mike Tyson is very, very effective. That was another thing. In fact, that's what he says when we ask him. What he does not do against quick Tillis. Yo! Come on. And Mitch Green indicated that he was boxing to Tyson because Tyson's going straight ahead.
Tyson dominated and relished every minute of the fight, sometimes even trolling his archenemy. One of those moments was captured for the ages.
Can be learned in talking to some of the people he fought. Look at here. Just laughing at him. And Green's hit by a truck. When Green lands those drips long enough, it's going through the rock. I don't see that.
I doubt that very serious section. He's landed with a lot of good left hooks. Sorry, he has a durable chin.
He did pace himself, and what a right hand.
I like the fact that Tyson used what he has. I mean, he's not concerned about going the distance, throwing those shots.
And he finished with about a third of a tank
He's moving forward, staying aggressive. I mean, Tyson, he has to take a stand eventually. Look at the uppercut. He's setting Mitch Green up with uppercut. He throws his left.
Though Tyson controlled the fight for most of the rounds, he couldn't knock Green down.
This is the 8th round. To tie Tyson up, and a couple of good shots by Mitch Green. His best rally of the fight right here.
Look here. No.
He's caught Tyson 4 or 5 times, and Tyson
those fast hands.
Notably, during the bout, Green managed to knock out one of Tyson's gold teeth.
His arms are short, so he
seems to be something that runs through all of Mike Tyson's opponents, that they all are in there to survive.
You might stop him.
Whether Tyson will be satisfied to go out,
get the type of money that he wants, but the fact is,
another day in the class to end things.
Green offered very little in terms of offense, and Tyson secured a unanimous decision victory.
This is your first fight here in the big room at the Garden. Were you satisfied with it?
Almost definitely. I don't want to sound rudish or anything. I didn't want to knock him out or anything. I wanted to put a lot of pressure on him and make him decide himself with it. He give up or not. He wouldn't get knocked out. If he get out of the chin, can't see the punch, and he would say, "Oh, I didn't see the punch, I got knocked out." So I left it up to himself, and as I must say, I must take my head off. He's a very tough individual.
Green never fully accepted this decision, insisting that he was the better fighter than Tyson, though he was distracted by the unequal pay structure. These comments eventually escalated into personal insults over the following years as Tyson became a global superstar.
Mike Tyson has never faced an opponent that can take him out with one punch, right? If I hit Mike Tyson with our best punch, he will go out. There's no doubt about it.
The next fighter who managed to go the distance with Tyson, thanks to his experience, was the 33-year-old Mongolian fighter James Bonecrusher Smith. Although Smith lost his first professional fight by TKO, his destiny was to make his mark in the future. He defeated the famous Brit Frank Bruno and knocked out former WBA world champion Mike Weaver. But the pinnacle of his boxing achievements came on December 12, 1986, when his fight with Tim Witherspoon ended sensationally. James Bonecrusher Smith unexpectedly claimed the WBA title by knocking his opponent down 3 times in the very first round. Now, Bonecrusher faced a much tougher challenge, Iron Mike Tyson. This was Tyson's 29th career fight, held on March 7, 1987, at the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Before the fight, Smith weighed in at 234 pounds and stood 6 feet 5 inches tall. He had fought 24 times before facing Tyson, winning 19 of those bouts, 14 by knockout. However, defeating him proved to be anything but easy for Mike.
This fight has already gone longer than some people's first round.
Tyson started the fight in his usual style, pressing forward, closing the distance, dodging Smith's attacks, and landing powerful combinations. Smith, on the other hand, repeatedly clinched and tried to tie Tyson up to escape his relentless assaults.
And also being a good defensive fighter.
At the end of the first round, a verbal altercation occurred between the boxers, as a result of which Tyson struck after the bell.
And a cut over the right eye.
In the second round, referee Mills Lane deducted a point from both fighters due to frequent clinching.
Rather alongside it, very similar to that of Tyrell Biggs. Smith this cut.
A clash of heads caused a cut above Smith's left eye. Tyson dominated the fight, periodically landing hard shots from close range, while Smith did everything he could to avoid trading punches.
Bone crusher may be trying to take a little bit of a blow here in this one.
There's no way to train to fight. Hard punches in the hopes of connecting.
Smith is the one fighter I did not think would fight that way. Bone crusher just kind of taunting.
At the end of the 7th round, Tyson slipped and fell to the canvas.
There was a body shot. That was not...
In the 8th round, Mills Lane deducted another point from Smith for excessive holding. Smith constantly tied up Tyson's hands, never allowing him to land a clean punch.
Tyson has been headhunting. Takes two to fight.
That's the thing, a fight like
He really wants to look better. If he doesn't,
it's certainly been the case tonight. I think the big...
hearing about Tyson now is Lewis.
Toward the end, Smith even nearly caused an upset, putting Tyson on the verge of a knockdown.
There was a right hand by Smith. That actually backed Tyson up.
That was the best punch of the fight. We thought we would see that in the first 10 seconds, not in the last 10 seconds.
As Evander Holyfield recalled years later, this was the fight he watched most often while preparing for his own showdown with Tyson, as it clearly exposed many of Mike's technical flaws, particularly his limited effectiveness in close combat.
10 seconds, and it is over.
Nevertheless, Tyson won by unanimous decision and added a second championship belt to his collection.
And the last round, he hit me with a good shot. He was a hard puncher, because I felt the punches in my arm and stuff. But like I said, I could take a good punch. And now, I proved to everybody. In the last round, he threw a good punch, and I felt it, but I came right back.
As I mentioned earlier, Tyson never had boring fights. The bout against Tony Tucker marks a significant moment in Tyson's career, where everything was on the line as two undefeated champions squared off to determine who was the best. Tucker made his professional debut in 1980 and quickly showcased his refined skills. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches, Tucker was an imposing figure with an athletic build, fast and agile for a heavyweight, moving with a style reminiscent of Muhammad Ali. He had the power to knock out his opponents and was exceptional on defense, thanks to his quick and effective jab, which he often used to set up various combinations. With an undefeated record of 34-0, 28 of those wins by knockout, and a world championship belt, Tucker's confidence was sky high. The only fight he wanted was an undisputed showdown with the WBC and WBA champion Mike Tyson, who held a record of 30-0, with 26 of those wins coming by knockout. Tyson, always a realist, dismissed any claims that Tucker would be an easy opponent. He knew that an undefeated world champion with flawless technique would step into the ring with a determination Tyson had never faced before. On August 1st, 1987, a unique battle for the undisputed heavyweight championship took place between Tyson and Tucker. For the first time in heavyweight history, two reigning, undefeated champions faced each other. In this fight, Iron Mike was tested like never before.
As it were, and we'll see what kind of tactic Tucker takes.
In the first round, Tucker achieved something no other Tyson opponent had done. He landed a powerful uppercut that caught Tyson on the chin, forcing him to take a few steps back.
But is he strong enough to do that? Well, that was a good right hand by Tucker. That might have been the rock back like that. Now let's see the uppercut almost immediately after the bell. He follows a right with a left.
However, Tucker couldn't capitalize on his success.
He was supposed to the uppercut stopped by a punch. What happened there? Tucker seems willing to brawl.
For a moment, the invincible Tyson looked human. The 21-year-old destroyer, with a 30-0 record and the title of the youngest heavyweight champion ever, was more accustomed to dishing out punishment than taking it.
Right hand, but he took a right from Tyson. And another big right by Mike Tyson, and particularly for Tucker. The great left hand at the bell by Tyson. He don't look for the one punch to the head. Four punches together. And he's followed up with left. You know, Ray, I hearken back to your fight with Marvin Hagler, where after the first he's using his height, his reach. Good body shot by Tyson. Change. Tyson's trying to slow Tucker down. Tyson's telling him the jab to box. He's telling him the jab to get inside. That was a good. He really wants to frustrate Mike Tyson.
Tucker would face questions for years about why he didn't follow up that precise punch, but the truth is that Tyson, who had a solid chin and rarely wobbled from a single shot, recovered quickly.
Coming in with his head. The uppercut has been doing a tremendous, and there it creates frustration in the fight. And that staggered Tony Tucker. That was a good one.
But TNT wasn't about to crumble like many of Tyson's previous opponents.
As well as not, Tucker can withstand this type of pressure. There's the right hand again by Tyson. Working closer. Tyson into Tucker. There you saw he stood his ground. Hand speed by Tony Tucker. A lead-off right. There's a left hook directly in front of Tony Tucker.
He used his boxing skills not just to unleash artillery on the advancing Tyson, but also to put on a grand performance. From goading Tyson into action to extending his left hand and preparing to throw, almost theatrically, his right, Tucker pulled out all the showman's tricks against the most dangerous puncher in boxing.
Tyson got in. Here you see him use the left hand just as a way to get in. I think he's watched my fight before. Yeah, I think he has too. I think his timing is not as good as he has to go on the attack. Tucker's really throwing rounds has been effective in when he rocked Mike Tyson. He said, hey, my first round, I'm not actually formed a great fighter. You know, another thing, well, when you do that, and I know from experience because I invented it, you got to be very careful. This intensity, this magnitude, when you're fighting, you really don't feel it because of right hand and anger since the middle of the last round. 15 rounds, as we mentioned, we can hear Kevin Rooney yelling in the back. He's got here in order to get inside and not be very susceptible to the uppercuts. With his jab now. Good short. Now
Despite this, Tyson kept closing the distance, wearing down Tucker's stamina with powerful body shots and landing enough accurate punches to turn the fight in his favor.
The jab will get him closer to the taller man opposite. Not with the hand. Because of what Tucker's doing. He's tying his man up. Haven't done that. No, you got to go out there and win this round big. So Roy Tucker won the title. Strong enough. Don't have the experience, so-called expert. I'm gonna show you, and this is what he gets tonight. I mean, he's and a guy who wasn't in there just. He had the big hat, and while maybe he didn't have a couple of cows.
At the end of the final round, Tyson shipped Tucker with a left hook, but Tucker managed to survive by tying up Tyson's arms. Tucker showed impressive resilience, staying on his feet even when it became clear he was losing.
Talk the talk and walk the walk.
In the end, Tyson won by unanimous decision, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. This was arguably the most competitive fight of Tyson's early career, and he was honest when asked in the ring afterward if Tucker's uppercut had stunned him.
Was he a better fighter than you thought? It was very hard to tell because he did a great deal of homework. He threw very fast punches. It was true.
And he really rocked you in the first round.
Yes, he did. He was a very hard puncher.
How did you gather yourself together after that punch? What did that punch mean?
After it hit me, it was history. He went away.
Tucker complained about the decision, but the main question was why he didn't show more aggression after tagging Tyson in the early rounds. He later claimed that an injury affected his performance, which also explained his showmanship. And now, we've arrived at perhaps the most intriguing showdown. In the early 1990s, it was hard to imagine any other boxer possessing the same devastating punching power as Iron Mike Tyson. However, in the spring of 1991, the Brooklyn Brawler found himself facing an opponent in the ring who was also known for his crushing power. Enter the great and fearsome Donovan "Razor" Ruddock. Young, fast, and monstrously strong, the American had been unmatched for some time, tearing through everyone in his path. Donovan Ruddock was at his peak. He was a serious contender in the heavyweight division of boxing in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
March 18th, Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock died. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
On March 18th, 1991, in Las Vegas, they stood across from each other. This was their first encounter, a fight that sparked much controversy and rumors due to the premature stoppage in the 7th round when Tyson stunned Ruddock with a flurry of punches while he was still on his feet. An immediate rematch was scheduled. The fighters were even more determined leading up to the showdown, and they didn't hold back their words. Between the two fights with Ruddock, Tyson's behavior took a dramatic turn. There wasn't a single defining moment, but it was clear that the shift had been building over time. In May, during a press conference for the rematch, Tyson began to hurl insults at his future opponent. Out of nowhere, he called Ruddock a transvestite, promised to make him his girlfriend, and even said,
"I'm gonna make sure you kiss me good with those big lips."
And then the day of the clash arrived. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be war. The hype around the fight was massive, and the boxers did not disappoint, delivering an intense and brutal battle. Tyson worked the body relentlessly, but his accuracy was off at times, leading Mills Lane to deduct points in the 4th, 9th, and 10th rounds. Ruddock was knocked down in the 2nd and 4th rounds.
Enjoy going down. He gets up smiling. Let's look at it from this way. Completely unprotected. There goes the right. That should have put him away. And the
But the Canadian not only withstood Tyson's heavy blows, he also fired back with his own signature shots. In the end, Tyson suffered a ruptured eardrum, while Ruddock ended up with a broken jaw.
right on the button. If he Ruddock has chosen not to fight again. He's touched by Razor Ruddock. Oh, nice counter punch by Tyson. Another right hand. Come back and fight Holyfield. He's little, and Ruddock is very...
The fight went the distance, but Tyson once again claimed victory. Tyson had high hopes for his opponent's future.
You had to have a hell of a heart to come back from some of those shots. This guy hit you some major shot.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about. Look.
And you have got to have some kind of award from getting up from knockdown smiling. You must have the record of getting up smiling from knockdown.
It's better than crying.
Damn, this tough guy is gonna be a champion someday if he stays dedicated and doesn't slip up. Tyson won by decision, but fate would prevent him from facing Evander Holyfield. Tyson slipped up himself and ended up behind bars in 1992 for reasons we all know. This was a turning point in his career, and Tyson was never the same again. Ruddock lost all his major fights after that. In the twilight of his career in 2001, Ruddock admitted that the fights with Tyson drained him completely and that Tyson himself was finished after those bouts. He said neither he nor Tyson ever had fights like those again. And you know what? Tyson agrees.
My mission is to go and destroy and not to let anything get involved. If you get punched, you get hurt. I refuse to be hurt, knocked down, and knocked out. I can't lose. I refuse to lose.
That's it for now, folks. Please support the channel by giving this video a like, leaving any comment, on topic or not, and sharing this video with your friends. It means a lot to me. Thanks.